Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Force Lines Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most famous map of all of Supreme Commanderdom. It is SETON'S Clutch. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's rear guard slot player, we have in Forest Green Deli. He is a Seraphim for this match, and he is a 2,000 rated. In the South, in the clip position, we have in Rust, the Siren player of Nuggets. He is a 2,100. And in the middle causeway position here for Team 1, we have in Emerald Green Pants as a UEF. He is a 1,900. And last but not least, for Team 1 in the Beast position, he is the Wiki. He is in Batman Gray, and he is a 2,800. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. And I think that is the highest rating I have ever seen in all of my casting so far. And for Team 1's lineup, they have 2 Cyberns, 1 Seraphim, 1 UEF, which means Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. Starting off for Team 2's Rigger Airsoft player, we have it in orange, the color orange, Resistance as a Seraphim. So it is a Seraphim mirror match here between the 2 air players. He is, again, a 2,100. In the Beast position to his east, we have the UEF player, a Seraphim Nuke. He is not playing a Seraphim, he's playing a UEF, and he is an 1,800 in lightest red pink. And in the middle causeway position here for Team 2, it is Foley. He is a Cybern for this match, and he is a 2,500. He is tied for the highest rated player on his team. And the player with which he is tied for the highest rated player on his team is Nori. He is a UEF for this match. He is in Imperial Gray, and again, he is a 2,500 in the cliff position. And for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 UEF, 1 Seraphim, and 1 Cybern, which means Team 2 also lacks Aeon technology, which means there are no Aeons in this game. Apologies to those loyal to the princess. Hopefully you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And of course, this is the 400th Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever cast on the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And of course, if you enjoy my casting so far, please give it a like down below. And of course, if you haven't done so, subscribe and comment and all of that. And of course, we are seeing the meeting of the minds here in the middle of the map here. We have Pants and Foley going for all of these wrecks. We, of course, do see that the Wiki is inbound, as well as his mirror of Seraphim Noob moving in to assist their teammates. But we also see that Nuggets is starting to progress his way towards the middle of the map here. I haven't really seen the Cliff player actually go for this. We saw that it looks like the Nuggets is actually switching positions with the Wiki. You can see that everything is transferred over to the Wiki over here, and everything is transferred over here to Nuggets. So I should actually say that the Wiki is in the cliff position and Nuggets is in the beach position. We do see the first shots have been fired between Foley and Pants. Mainly it's just Pants firing them. Foley way more concerned but going for the reclaim, of course, because it is the most important thing, at least in the middle of the map in the beginning. And we are seeing those players here from the beaches come in and support. And it's just, again, just a small back and forth, not really a huge issue. We see a couple of interceptors and spy planes flying around the southern side of the map here for the Wiki and for the Seraphim Noob. They're just getting a little bit of just harassment going down over there. It looks like the island has been grabbed by Nori, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, Transport does have engineers on board to go for that island as well. Foley going, oh, I want to go for this one first. No, I want to go for this one first. And we do see that Pants is about to double team Foley with the Wiki's assistance, and Nuggets is on his way. Do we see any sort of movement here from Team 2's commanders? No, Nori's still going for a bunch of P-gens, and of course Resistance in the rear guard air slot just hanging out back there. So it's going to be a 2v2 battle here over all of this reclaim. Pants coming in to scoop up that reclaim as well, denying it on Team 2's side of the map. Couple of reinforcements here from Pants to assist, as well as Foley. And the action has kicked off in the middle. Mantis moving in to intercept and force back these 2 comms. Foley still going for reclaim. is not really concerned with going for kills, mainly concerned with going for, of course, the mass. And Nuggets is slowly pushing in. Of course, it is a long walk all the way around. So it's going to be a while, but it is progressing here for the Nuggets to get to some assistance in the middle. We have Pants actually behind Foley, who are in the middle of the Wiki and Pants, and a couple of forces from Pants. We are seeing, of course, more and more forces build up here for Foley, but he doesn't want to just kind of trickle them in one by one because it's not really going to be as effective, and it will give veterancy for Pants. Pants being double teamed by Seraphim and Foley once again. And will this be a kill here for Team 2? Looks like Pants will make it underwater perfectly fine. He'll be close to the red, so it'd be a little bit more cautious of actually pushing in against his opponents. But we do see that the Nuggets has come to assist, and that's going to give another commander for Team 1 to be able to push back on Team 2. And still no other movements from any of the commanders from both teams. I wouldn't expect the Rigger slots to move in. So there are 5 players in the middle of the map here, and there are more than 50% of them, being 5 of the 8. And it's a lot of Cyberns and a couple of UEF. That's really about it. There's not really a any sort of a Seraphim. Of course, there's no Aeons in the match as well, so there's not going to be any sort of Asylums or any sort of Aurora, any sort of the goodies that the Aeons have. No missile ships. I love me some missile ships, but unfortunately there are no Aeons for this map, which is, of course, kind of disappointing because this is a huge Navy map, so not having that Aeon fleet is definitely unfortunate. But, you know, it does happen from time to time, so I'm not super worried about it. There's other matches that have a lot of missile ships and whatnot. But it does look like with the 3 commanders from Team 1, Team 2 is slowly falling back. Most of the reclaim, at least the important reclaim, has been grabbed. There's still that Salem wreck that will be grabbed by Pants here shortly. Of course, that was on Team 1 side of the map, so they're not really concerned about losing it because they have the firepower to back it up. We do see still trickling of more reinforcements for Foley. Seraphim Noob and Foley still holding on. It looks like Seraphim Noob is actually going to retreat for now, and is going to leave Foley all by his lonesome. He's in the high yellows, about to tick over into the green. So he's not super vulnerable. We do have Pants on the low yellow, and the Wiki about 50%, a little over 50% of his health. And Nuggets is just a flesh wound, just a scratch. Damage and range has been started for Pants' commander. Team 1 is going to press the advantage on the land side of things. Seraphim Noob goes, maybe I'm going to come back and help. And it's still a 3v2 in favor of Team 1 in the middle of the map here. Early units in the water have started to build up here. We have a couple of roaming units here for both teams. We see, of course, the facility on the island is started to progress, and yep, he's going to build another backup one over there. There is a nice little frigate outbound from Seraphim Noob who's going to annoy the Wiki who's going after that facility. It's not going to deny him all of his facilities. He still has his 2 main ones over here, but at least will deny a backup one. Speed and range has been started for Foley's commander here in the middle, and nano repair has been started for Pants. He wants to rep up his hit points. I don't blame him. Do we triple guns, says Pants? I mean, they could, but I don't know if that would really be worth it. I feel like if they had 2 commanders go for guns with all of that land support, that would be enough. You can see that land support actually pushing in currently. And, of course, just bases are being expanded. T2 Air has been started for Nuggets as well as for the Rigor player of Delhi, who's actually just started his T3 upgrade and is pretty well on his way for that. And it looks like Resistance has as well, but Delhi is about ready to finish this. He'll have a slight advantage in producing the first ASF. Maybe he'll go for Bomber first. A SETON'S match, maybe that would be worth it. It's just one of those, I mean, it is a full 20 by 20 map. It's a lot of, territory to fly over. There are some Janus inbound, though, from Nori coming in to go after some units here. And they actually grab that radar system as well, kind of just blanket all of this Team 1 support and try to just kind of give Team 1 some hesitation of moving in. We do see Foley continuing to pressure Team 1, but now we see Pants with the gun and nano, Wiki and Nuggets still in range. Well, at least Nuggets still in range. We see more Janus coming in, just blanketing all of these Team 1 units. There are some interceptors nearby. And of course, this is huge because Team 1 does not have any sort of ASFs to counter this because their air player of Delhi is going for T3 air as we speak. And then we see the transformation of that Janus moving into fighter mode. He is going to get kind of shot out of the sky here shortly. but the damage is done. All of the units have been taken out by those air forces, so great assist by Nori. If he couldn't come with his commander, he came with some air support. And now we see Seraphim Nuke continuing to pressure this attack. We do see Foley has fallen back. Maybe Foley's thinking he probably should have assisted the push, but now all three of these commanders for Team 1 are in the yellow. I'd say the weakest one being Nuggets because he has no upgrades. Pants is fine. He's in the mid-yellows, but of course he has Nano, so he'll be fine. We do see the Wiki is at a little over mid-yellow as well. So, yeah, the Wiki just barely ekes it out with more HP than Nuggets. Foley, of course, has gun, and Seraphim Noob is low HP as well. He's 4,500 out of 12,000. Needs to be a little bit careful with how far he pushes in, but they are doing pretty well at keeping these three commander push at bay. We do see that the Wiki has actually fallen back a little bit, so now it's going to be a 2v2. And I'm surprised to see that both of the beach players are still here. Usually at this point, one or both of them kind of just leaves and goes back to base, but they are continuing to pressure the land. We do see some Thunder classes coming in to assist the attack. There is a nice little parashield that's going to get wiped out here pretty shortly. There it goes. Foley getting some veterancy, of course. Nuggets pretty close to 1. Pants close to 2. Wiki at 1. And Seraphim Noob about a third of the way or so to 1 veterancy as well. We are seeing some interceptor fights over here and some naval fights over here just off the beach. We do see that just numbers advantage here for Team 2 versus Team 1. Of course, we do see more frigates and more Janus and Stingers inbound here for Nori. He's not producing as many naval units as you would expect. He has only 1 naval facility, which I guess he's focused a little bit more on air, so that would make sense. But I feel like that might be a mistake, not focusing as much Navy as he can to really press the advantage on the beach player. We do see Foley continuing to use that gun to force back Team 1, and now more Janus coming in, just assisting where they can. But it's not really going to do that much because there are, of course, some flak cannons nearby, as well as mobile shields. The Stingers are moving in. Looks like they're going after the flotilla of some frigates outbound from Nuggets. The AA on the frigates isn't terrible, at least in terms of this situation where you have 6 Stingers versus 6 frigates, and you can see the advantage for Team 1. Of course, some interceptors come in to assist that attack as well. And T2 Air also online for the Wiki, coming in just producing interceptors. Of course, he has that T2 Air facility just to produce torp bombers to counter Team 2's fleets that will, of course, emerge as the game progresses. We do see that a little bit of some interceptors have some disagreements about which color is best. You see, of course, it's the orange versus the green, and there is some Batman Gray and some Imperial Gray in the mix as well. And it looks like Team 2 has the advantage. There's only orange ASF left. There are some more inbound, but it looks like he's going to call those back and hold them up and save them for a better engagement. There's a lot of Team 1 artillery spam here from Hans. I mean, it's a decent amount of Lobos, but of course, if Foley's commander keeps moving, that artillery isn't going to do as much work. We do see some missile launchers outbound, and the Wiki is gone for a nice little heart. Just going to sit in his little heart and hang out. He's going to reclaim at least as far as he can in said heart. We do see Pants is back up in the green, and he's getting some pillars online, some T2 tanks. Foley's still holding strong. He's falling into the low yellows again. He has to be very careful. He doesn't have nano or stealth or anything, just his gun. We do see a couple of Wagners here for him as well, kind of just messing with Pants's pathfinding. I was looking for the word and I completely lost it, but I got it back. We do see that, again, just hanging out over there. And more fighting over here. Looks like it's just T2 torp bombers versus some frigates, which isn't too bad. The frigates will do some damage to the bombers, but not as much as they would do to a gunship because the gunship's slower. We do see the Nuggets is in the water, and Delhi has T3 air, and of course Team 2 also has T3 air. It's already 14 minutes. You expect to have T3 air by this point. And just some Wagners being obliterated by some overcharges. Foley still, like I said, holding strong, and Seraphim Noob still does not have a veterancy, surprisingly. I think everybody else on Team 1 at least has 1. We see Pants at 3. That's 30% more hit points So now he's sitting at 17,000 versus Foley's only 12,000. Who's also on 2-star veterancy. And, of course, Nuggets, I think, got 1 veterancy. No, he almost got 1. That's what it was. Naval fleet engagements here occurring for the Wiki, pressuring Team 2's shipyards. We do see that they are getting into the mix here. Foley's facility might go down here. I don't see T2 Navy as of yet for Team 2. I don't expect T1 Navy yet. Looks like it's just mainly frigates. Of course, there's T2 Navy in the north here for Nuggets, and he is going for cruisers. Looks like a cruiser was defeated, and I'm assuming he's going to go for a Salem here shortly. I think they were defeated by those bombers over there. And still, the land fight continues. This is probably one of the longer land fights in SETON'S clutch, just because usually at this point, players just kind of build a wall and just hang out. We do see that Strat Bombers over top going after Panzer's commander, kills off a couple of supporting units at the same time. There is some flak behind it, but they really can't target that faster moving unit of that bomber. And there are some ASF, keep calling them interceptors, ASF for Team 2's resistance as well, protecting. Shield goes down, kills off another unit. Flak gets a little bit more shots in. Fully back up to the green. He's at 3-star veterancy now, and Pants has pushed in but has had to fall back. Really, the only thing that Foley loses is units and a mechs. Bomb will drop once again, targeting that commander, and that Strat Bomber will be shot out of the sky and actually kill off a brick with its crash damage. But, I mean, sorry, brick. A pillar. Why did I say brick? I don't know why I said brick. At least I think I said brick. I don't know. Sometimes I kind of forget what I say immediately when I say it. I talk a lot in cast, so like the amount of words that I say per cast is probably up to like 10, 30. No, I would say 30,000. I'd say like 10,000 words, at least. Kind of hard to remember everything that I say sometimes, especially when I cast. Sometimes 1-2 times a day, just to build up some videos for just in case I had to take a day or whatever. Do see that Foley again being pushed back in the water once again. Of course, he's dipped his toes in the Navy, and his engineers were killed off, but he's going for T2 as we speak. And we see a lot of frigates starting to fan out here for both of these teams in the southern pond. In the northern pond, we have some ASF flying over top. T2 is online for Team 1. T2 also online for Team 2, but there's not really any units as of yet except for a Valiant-class destroyer. We do see that there's 1 Torp bomber inbound for resistance. And there are more of them inbound all the time, I should say. He's probably going to be targeting all of those cruisers and allowing those bombers to just annoy Nuggets easily. You can't eco, says Nori. Or sorry, from resistance to Nori, because I go full aggro. We die from air in 3 minutes. Team 1 sitting at 625 mass per second. Team 2 at 560. So yeah, Team 1 has the eco advantage currently. I would be surprised to see if the Wiki went for T3 Air, but I highly doubt it. He probably will go for T3 Navy before he goes for T3 Air. We do see that those ASF counts are starting to shift in Delhi's favor. I think he's currently sitting at 32, and Resistance is sitting at 40. But, I mean, with the eco, it looks like that Delhi has. He can pump out a little bit more ASFs, so that number will slowly favor Delhi as the game progresses. We do see, I think, the middle has kind of just died. The Wiki is still hanging out, and I wonder if he's going to sit there for the entire match or not. Rat. I am pushing soon, says Nori. The Wiki goes, smiley face. Don't really know what that's in reference to, but I think he maybe is talking about just that heart or whatever. Lots of T2 Torp bombers here for Resistance, and he's going to assist this push here. We see the forces are falling back, and that will only favor the Nuggets as, of course, the wrecks are closer to his doorstep, and, of course, it forces Team 1 essentially out of position. Bombers are inbound, maybe, sort of, kind of, maybe, sort of, kind of, maybe, sort of, it's like a will they, won't they kind of relationship. It's like, are you going to do it? Are you not going to do it? You going to make a decision about it? No? T3 Air online for Nori. Definitely interesting that he didn't go for T3 Navy first. He is a UEF. He does have the, of course, in my opinion, the far superior fleet with the Neptunes. And, of course, the cruiser missile for the Governors. UC Stealth is done here for Foley. Will he go for Nano immediately? Maybe, maybe not. We do see that there's a couple of just interceptors flying over top here. You get a little bit of vision here for Nuggets. We do see that there are ASF about to emerge. Bombers are inbound. They're going after those Salem destroyers. And the ASF will peer off and go for those. And that would have been a perfect time for the ASF to move in. But the bomber's going to take an opportunity to now go for those cruisers. But a lot of them are being destroyed before they reach their targets. And it looks like they'll get one of them. Don't know if that was really worth it just for the one. I mean, one is better than none. Torpedo coming online here for Nuggets. That could be a little dangerous if Team 2 notices him in the water. But he is surrounded by a decent amount of units, and of course the Salems do have torp defense, so if he hides underneath them, it should be fine. But there's so many more T2 units online here for Team... Well, I mean, mainly they are cruisers, but there's a couple of Salems here. Looks like there's 3 versus the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destroyers, but not all of them are in range. And they're slowly being eaten alive by those Salems. And there's more of them are being built all the time. Secondary facilities producing cruisers as we speak. As the Eastern Front going here for Team 1 and Team 2. Look, it's just battle lines drawn in the sand, formations and all that. Just kind of hanging out. It's like, It's what it looks like. There was a little bit of raiding that happened over here by Team 2's, I would assume, Sarah from Nuke, but possibly from Resistance. I don't see any sort of remaining units here besides just a nice little air scout. We do see that pressure's continuing to mount here, and Nuggets continuing to be pushed back. Of course, his his torpedo-capable comm is now online, and those Salems are being eaten alive, but the same can be said about the Valiant-class destroyers, and there's not that many remaining now. There are some more coming in to relieve the front ones, as well as a nice little bulwark and Cooper boat coming in to assist as well. There are a couple of torp bombers outbound from Delway to assist the best he can. He has a nice little pull through. There's a couple more bombers being built up in the back. It looks like Team 1's, of course, beach players just being kind of bottlenecked and kind of shoved into a corner. We do see that Foley is pushing out with some T3 units and those destroyers, which have decided to walk on land. And of course, they make it a weaker target. They don't have torpedoes, because the torpedo launcher is actually, out over the water. There are some bricks on the coastline, though, and the comm coming to assist as well with his longer range gun with that gun upgrade. And it will shove away those frigates, but of course the Salem is destroyed. Very unfortunate. He's going to get the reclaim from it, and then is going to leave. He's being he's being attacked by some missiles, but he does have some redirecting capable units with those loyalists. There's just so many missiles, he just doesn't want to be kind of wiped out very quickly here. Gun has been started for the wiki. I wonder if he'll leave his heart. We do see in the north Team 1's fleet from Nuggets starting to push back once again. We do see some units from Foley moving in to assist as well. He's assisting in the south, so he's doing double duty trying to assist the north and the south. I feel like the north would be a little bit better to focus most of his attention trying to pressure the advantage in the weaker lane, as it would be, at least for Team 1 side of things, and just annihilate that and then move on to something else. But he is trying to at least stave off Team 1's advancement in the south. There's a lot of frigates. I think it's probably about 50 or 60. And nope, there's 90. There are 90 frigates, a couple of destroyers, but there's now a battleship. T3 Galaxy is online. Team 2 now has T3 and is going for the summit, so they're about to finish their first battleship as well. It's going to be a big engagement here soon in the north. It's just continuing to kind of shift in Nuggets' direction. We do see, of course, the Salems adding a lot of firepower to the mix, and of course some engineers to scoop up reclaim, and as well as produce some AA to protect against any sort of T2 bombers that come into range. The air grids, I haven't really checked those out here for Team 1. Nice expansionary efforts, of course, by Delhi and by Team 2's air. It's about the same, I think. Just doing rough visuals. Team 1 producing 1K mass income. Team 2 at 900, so Team 1 has a little bit more of an advantage at 100 mass per second. Now we see Pants dipping into the Navy here with a Neptune. Love to see it. He just went straight for T3. Didn't care about any sort of governors or destroyers or any of that sort of stuff. Just went straight for the Neptune. Love to see that. And that's going to really help this southern pond push in against Team 2. We do see that, of course, there's so many more destroyers online for Team 2 with the help of Foley. And, of course, there are some missiles forcing these units to constantly be microed. I don't see any T3 as of yet. Maybe he'll go for the upgrade soon. I highly doubt that Nuggets is going to go for it. He just needs as many units as he can. He can't really wait or can't really, like, pause production to go for an upgrade with. He's just constantly being pressured like this. And we're starting to see kind of a grouping up here of more frigates. There is a Neptune online for Team 2 as well in the south for Foley. Not Foley, sorry, Seraphim Noob. And Foley, of course, has stopped actually producing units down there. Just has the facility, just isn't producing it. And he's been pushed back on the land side of things. There's still some land skirmishes going on. There's not as many, of course, as it was earlier on, but there is something. We see a couple of destroyers moving into range. And this is the only downside with pushing with land, is if one team has, you know, pushed through the middle of the pond, it's really easy to kind of just fall back a little bit and go after the middle causeway. We do see that the facility is taken offline. Definitely unfortunate for Foley. That will deny assistance in the Navy. I think that's what Pants was going for, which was a nice grab, I might add. Stealth coming online here for the Wiki in the middle. Still has not left his heart and is getting some assistance from some nearby engineers. And again, just this constant pushing back in and, you know, in and out, in and out, in and out here for Nuggets. He's really doing a great job of kind of keeping Team 2's Navy, at least on the northern pond, very much on their toes, not, you know, letting just kind of death happen. He's really fighting back as much as he can. He's going for Nano now. We do see those ASF are building up nearby, and of course some Corsairs from the Wiki to assist as well. Has he gone for T3 air? No, he's actually going for it as we speak, I should say. We do see, of course, the momentum is constantly shifting back and forth. We had see some Corsairs trying to snipe a Salem. They almost kill off that one, and I think they were trying to distribute it, so this one was also severely damaged. T2 Navy is back online. We do see, was that a missile or is that an artillery shot? I think that's artillery outbound. And more gray units are moving in. And now we see some more assisting facilities in the front line for Foley. T2 Navy still, again, the main stage unit here for both of these teams. T3 has been started, though, for Nuggets, not only for his commander, but also for his naval facility. If that upgrade doesn't finish soon and he produces a Galaxy-class battleship, it's not going to look good, because it will stop a little bit of a production from all those Salems that he desperately needs. Most of the frigates are just being swarmed by all of those destroyers, and that number is slowly favoring Team 2. Of course, we see more destroyers outbound from Foley. We see more cruisers, more bulwarks to protect said cruisers. T3 Navy, I'm surprised that he hasn't gone for it, nor he hasn't gone for T3 Navy. He has, you know, a huge amount of map, essentially, to just kind of act as a buffer. We see that it looks like the lines are slowly kind of receding for at least Team 1, but he's grouping them up a lot more. Lots of frigates, lots of destroyers. I see one battleship so far, another one about to finish. One is now done, so that's 2, 3, 4. There is a Neptune over here that's been donated, another Neptune that will be donated here soon. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 Neptune and another one, so 5 summits. And it looks like there's a couple more destroyers. But it looks like what might happen is the main fight will happen near the middle causeway, but there'll be a secondary fight that happens down here that will have a huge advantage for the Wiki, because he just has so many more forces. You can see those battle lines are slowly collapsing. T3 Navy is online, and he's going to just produce more Salems. Was it worth it? I mean, he will get more build power out of it, of course, because he went for T3 headquarters. But is it going to be worth it? Of course, the comm does have torpedo to assist, but there are, of course, torp defenses and torpedoes on board the Valiants as well. And it looks like the pressure is mounting here. But we have some bombers inbound. Those get shot down very quickly, though. ASF over the top, clearing up some of the skies here for Team 2. But unfortunately, those looks like they were more Corsairs were kind of shot down. And some ASFs were snipped by those missiles from the cruisers. Or at least the AA missiles, not necessarily the actual missiles. And air grid, of course, expansionary by Team 2's air player. Same here for Delhi. He's getting his secondary air grid. The other one is as well. Resistance are expanding out their air grids because there's only so much territory. Cruisers or you die, says Resistance. And looks like the first shots have now started to be fired here in the south. Not too much action, just kind of a lot of pod shots essentially. And those battleships getting bombarded by bombers. One does get taken down. Nuggets is not going down without a fight, though. He's doing a very good job of holding off. Some of those system facilities are being either taken offline or destroyed, or both. Looks like it was possibly Control K'd. I think that's what he's doing, is just Control K'ing his facility, at least some of them at least, to try to get some mass back. Team 1 sitting at 1.3K. Team 2 also now catching up at 1.2, 1.3K. So Team 1 barely in the lead, but not by much. Not as much as it used to be. Just see more cruisers, more cruisers, more cruisers, more cruisers, and of course, as I like to say, more cruisers outbound from Nori. And we see the bombers and the fighter bombers inbound here from a combined effort from Nuggets and Delhi. We do see that they are wiped out, but the main targets, of course, were possibly the bulwark shields, which don't see. Oh, there's one right there. So they got one still surviving. But the issue is that Team 1 still being hemmed in. It's a slow march of death with facilities, AA, all of that. And the ASF fight did happen at some point in that mix. Apologies, I kind of just glossed over that. But there's a lot more ASFs now online for Team 1. Team 1 has air control, if not dominance. Definitely, I say dominance at this point. But it's about, I'd say, about 15 or so versus 80. We see some assisting facilities over here. Atlantis definitely is a stretch here for Pants. I don't think that's worth it at this point, especially because this line, or this lane, is essentially gone. The beach is gone. The battleship has been spammed up very quickly. Will he finish it? I don't know. If Team 2 notices, that's going to, and it's probably going to finish, honestly. It's at 95%. And there's so much more effort here from Delhi to really just force this back. I kill Team D, says Foley, and that T3 battleship is finished. Great job here from Nuggets. He actually has gone for some harms as well. And the battleship's pushing in. And of course that facility is being assisted as fast as possible. And the TMD trying to stay online to deal with, of course, all the cruiser missiles from Team 2. But there's not that many remaining here for Nori. He really wants that T3 naval headquarters gone. And ASFs go in to try to just delay things, which all of the ASFs track those ones from Resistance. That will give a little bit of time for that Navy to continue to push in undeterred. That battleship is being ripped apart, though. And, of course, the cruisers focusing on the T3 naval headquarters. And with all the missiles inbound, it kind of makes it difficult to build anything. Of course, it actually acts as a nice little buffer to protect the facility. But, of course, you're not really building anything. So you're spending mass and energy to essentially keep a facility online in more than one way. Battleship has been destroyed. It was a valiant effort from Nuggets, but I think his lane or his beach is going to start to collapse. In the south, huge engagement. Of course, I kind of missed it. Apologies for focusing only on the northern side of things. But the battle has commenced, and there's more battleships over here, battleships and aircraft carriers over there, more battleships over here. Team 2's engagement is a little bit different. It's been primarily, of course, T3 and T1 now versus Team 1 and Team 2's engagement in the north being T1 and T2. T3 air facility, T3 land facility is offline. And, I mean, there's a lot of battleships here for Seraphim Noob. He's sitting at 8 of them, and he just produced a new one. And I thought I saw a Neptune, but I think that's gone. Of course, I think Team 1's the one that I saw it for. And Team 1's, the Nut Wheelie, has a couple of aircraft carriers plus 10 battleships, and there was a Neptune somewhere. I saw it. It looks like it got destroyed. But the damage is done. Team 2 has lost the Navy in the south. There's so much assistance going down. Neptune's being spanned up as fast as possible. But the artillery just sides with Team 1. Laser is done for the Wiki. He's actually moved from his little heart that he made. He has cloaking and laser. Very interesting with that configuration there. 32 minutes on the clock here. Has somebody decided to go for game enders and end the game and everything else? We do see the comm of Seraphim Noob over here. I think he's being, hey, just watch out. There's stuff inbound. Bombers have decided to go down south now. The northern pond is gone. There's no saving it. T3 air, T3 land, T3 Navy. I cannot say it right. T3 Navy facility is online. Neptune has been built, though. It'll stave off a little bit of damage, but a little. There's just so much more assistance here, more battleships. Of course, Foley being not Foley, Pants being a nice help for the engagement over here, producing all of those Neptunes. And Nuggets is defeated by Nori. Nuggets tried to make it out of the water because of his, he had a torpedo-capable comm. But, of course, there are destroyers that also have torpedoes. But he came out of the water and got immediately destroyed. Everything transferred over to Wiki. And everything transferred over to Pants. And that T3 Naval Headquarters is still fine. But it's fine for now. There's no support here in terms of any sort of naval units here for Team 2. It's just battleships and frigates and some sub-killers here for Team 1. Obviously, these ASF fighting overhead. And there are some AA on board the command-class aircraft carriers as well. So Team 2 has lost the Southern Bond. Team 1 has gained the Southern Turn, and vice versa for Team 1. We have a couple of facilities trying to stay online here, a couple of T3 mexes and some artillery. But there are, of course, a couple of Salems that have gotten onto land. And this is a little bit more troubling for Team 2 because Team 1 has been able to hold out for a while with the constant pressure from Team 2 from the northern side of things. The southern side of things, it was just one engagement and Wiki just steamrolled everything. And that is a little bit more dangerous because there's not really a lot of artillery or missile launchers or anything that like supporting has already been built, because essentially that's why it's taking a little bit longer to finish off what Nuggets had, because there's just so much assistance for build power and artillery and all of that. Makes it a little bit more difficult to finally just kind of kill all of that beach position. SMD being taken offline. No SMD back here, surprisingly. There is a radar, but no SMD as well. No SMD here. There is an SMD over there. Does Team 1 have a nuke? Because that'd be very advantageous for them. No SMDs for Team 1. Was there like another gentleman's agreement? I think the last match kind of similar thing where there just wasn't a lot of SMDs. And there's no SMDs. That's very rare to see ever, with one team having no SMDs at 34 minutes. I mean, maybe they're building one right now and I just don't see it with the icon. But still, the artillery is still proving a pain here for Team 2 to break through. Of course, Team 1, we have two commanders here, Pants and Wiki. Wiki has cloaking and laser, and Pants has missile launcher, gun, and nano. Would love to see him go for Billy Nuke. That'd be a nice little 1-2 combo with the comms. But the Wiki, having 14 battleships online, Foley's base is going to go up in shreds here, up in flame, smoke, fire, brimstone, whatever you want to call it, here pretty quickly. That's the range, of course, of the battleships. We do see that it's starting to affect Pants' facilities as well, with some destroyers moving into range of other stuff. We see so many missiles inbound. The shields can't hold. The TMD can't hold. It's not going to matter. That's going to be a nice little explosion here if that pigeon goes off. So much TMD trying to be built, trying to stave off that damage, but there are some actual artillery shots from a nice little battleship nearby. And tactical nuke has been started here for Pants. He's going for it. Foley going to command, it's not Foley, but Wiki, apologies, is going to command his troops from the front line. Not going to sit in his tower kind of hanging out with some nice little maps in front of him, or whatever the screens, I guess would be the way to put it, I guess, in this realm, 1,000+ years in the future. You can see that comm for Team 2's resistance is going for T3 engineering suite. And that comm of Wiki continuing to just move in. He's going to sit right underneath the water. I think technically his head's poking out. Yeah, technically his head's poking out, but he is cloaked, so it's not really any issue there. The only problem is that Team 2 does have an Omni. At least I thought I saw one over here. Oh, I guess that was Team 1 that I saw. Yeah, it's Team 1's Omni. I thought Team 2 had one. No, it's back. Oh, it's back here. That's what I saw. And because of that, the range on the Omni is right here. Had they put it here, they would probably actually be seeing the comm. They actually would be seeing the comm of Wiki. Wiki has now emerged onto land. And that is going to be interesting if he's able to do much with that commander. It's definitely a risky play, but it's definitely an interesting play, do be sure. And this TMD base is still going. And again, this is more of a delaying tactic. This isn't something that Team 1 is really going to win out on. It's meaning like, okay, how much attention can we pull from Team 2? There is a Fat Boy underneath the surface of the water, though. ASF are going inbound to protect some strap bombers. Strap bombers land a nice little bomb on this little grouping of P-gens and air facilities. Does a couple of damage to a couple of P-gens, and one is almost destroyed. Airfight happens over Team 1's side of the map, though, so all the wrecks will be on their side of the map to scoop up. Team 1 sitting at 1.2k, Team 2 at 1.1k. That's primarily due to Team 1's Pan still has some of his base remaining and fully does not. We do see the spam has been started, and it's engineering spam here from Seraphim Noob. No like lasers, no big ticket items. This is SETON'S. I'm surprised to see not a huge amount of, you know, possible game enders, nukes, artillery, any sort of that. It's primarily just Navy, land, and a little bit of air. That's really it. And we do see, of course, that Fat Boy has reached land, and now this base with the artillery from the Fat Boy is going down. You see there's a Neptune over there just able to shoot at some stuff on land. Any chance we have air? We do, says. I mean, it's probably close, but it's not that close. We do see that the Wiki is actually now started to hide underneath that wreck just to protect himself, so he's not spotted. But the only issue, of course, with claiming the southern pond or northern pond is eventually all of that mass for units kind of just sits there. So one thing that I've seen players do is just control K like all the frigates just to get some of that mass back to funnel other projects, because it's just going to sit there anyway. You have battleships and cruisers and aircraft carriers and whatever else in the water. You have as much AA you're going to need, and you're not going to really worry about naval weaponry like fighting back at you, because there's no possible way that your opponent can get back in the Navy. So at least all the frigates you can get rid of. T3 coming online for Pants, again using the ships as a way to protect themselves. Lovely placement here from Team 1's commanders. The base here for Pants barely holding on, but barely. And that Fat Boy is running around the map here, and Oswell Foley is running around the map here in the north. He has to be very careful. Team 1's Omni is right here, which means I think they can see him. No, he's barely out of range, but he's right next to that Fat Boy, though. It is done, says Nori. What is done? What? Oh, Quantum Gateway is online for him. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Can you give me some mass, says Nori. What is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. I have Omni. I have no mass. Reclaim that. We see the Omni is online here for the Wiki. He got one very far forward, gives him tons of intelligence as he sends the Salem's in T2 units that have no right being as fun as they are. Of course, they are, of course, the destroyers that walk on land. There is a Monkey Lord running around the map here for, looks like that's Foley's. And that Fat Boy moving with him. Of course, Team 1 can see the comm now. He's in Omni range. And that group of artillery, mobile, or actually mobile, I don't even know what you would call those. Mobile, Salem, artillery, naval, whatever. We do see some Voltus running around for resistance, trying to stave off the attack. And of course, this is the downside, is that, you know, destroyers have some AA, not a lot. They have some. And those Voltus are going to start chewing through all of those units. A couple of them have already been destroyed, but there's just so many of them, and there's more AA coming into range as well. Dilly built an experimental. What is it? If you built like a YOLO and I didn't see it, I'd be very surprised. Looks like the bug was destroyed. Looks like that was a possible attempt by Team 2, but that didn't go anywhere. Monkey Lord in the secondary air grid base here for Delhi, but there is a chicken. It looks like that is what he was built, and Wiki as well. Looks like that's possibly Wiki's, maybe not Team 2's. There goes the monkey. Seraphim Noob is destroyed by the Wiki just due to all the pressure from the land side of the naval land side of things, I should say. There is a chicken under construction here for resistance. Doesn't have a lot of time, though. That artillery is inbound, 41 minutes on the clock. We do see Pants is nearby, possibly going to launch his Billy Nuke here soon. He's building some TMD to protect himself just in case something happens. Definitely a good idea. And, the land side of things not progressing that much here for Team 2's northern front. There is some T1 Medusa leading the charge with T2 mobile, not mobile, but land destroyers. And look at this. The Calm is leading the front lines with his laser and cloaking upgrades. He is not going to stop Team 2. Of course, they have an Omni, which that should be in range. Yet Team 2 can see the Wiki. Will they target him is the question. 2 ACUs gets pinged by Seraphim. Team 2 loses their first play of the game, by the way, by Seraphim, so it is a 3v3 tied-up game. Resistance is like, I got to get out of here. And that artillery is inbound from those Salems. Wiki is being targeted as we speak in fully control Ks. Looks like he doesn't want to be killed off by a bug. That is now a 2v3 game here for Team 1's advantage. We do see that laser going after the SMD. Resistance taking some damage from a P-Gen. He's in the low yellows. He has to be very careful. There's a lot of flak nearby as well to prevent a lot of these bombers from reaching their targets. Chicken is being built in the main base. It's actually being reclaimed right now. Just being scooped. What the heck is going on with it? He's building it and reclaiming it at the same time. Don't know what's going on with that. Strat bombers inbound from the north for Resistance. Going after the Wiki. Oh, there's some Team 1 bomber support, and he has some Cormorant class port bombers inbound. I don't know why those are there, but okay. Is it gonna kill off the Wiki? Will it be enough? Team 1 bombers, couple of strat bombers are being shot down. Couple more will do him in. He drops into the red. Oh, 3,000 hit points, and there he goes. Team 1 loses the Wiki to Resistance. Listen, won my lane. Those weren't T1 bombers. That's the Wiki. How do you figure? Like the conversation there. It is now a 2v2 tied-up game once again. But Team 1 has the better advantage. Everything in the south transferred over to Pants, because Pants is obviously here. And those Salems are inbound. And that base for Resistance is going to go down. He's sitting in the water over there to the north. We see a lot of SACUs running around the map here, building some defenses. SMD being assisted. There's no nukes on Team 1 side of the map, so I don't really... I mean, getting them loaded is fine. We do see a bug has been started once again here. Explosion in the south. Billy Nuke lands, takes out half the air grid, and the rest of it is going to be destroyed by these Salems. Of course, they need to actually get over the hill because their shots arc, so they have to get a little bit further over. But there's really no hope here for Team 2. We do see, of course, some fire beetles in the mix here for Pants that were built by the Wiki. And they're going to blow up and going after some P-Gens. There goes one, I think. They're just going to sit there, I guess. And he's just placing them all, maybe. I don't know. He's not giving them orders to explode yet. T1 spam, T2 Salem spam. I don't think he's built any more since then, so it's just whatever he had, he sent in. Another radar system here for Team 1. It's Pants's. He has one back there. He's another one there. He's trying to find that commander. And they can see there's a radar signature in the water. They assume it's him. There are some Salems en route. Looks like they're actually shifting northward because this facility is already destroyed. I had banned. I should have focused way more on units. And in the north, it's not progressing as fast as Team 2 needs it to. They need to essentially be on Delhi's doorstep, but he's producing a bunch of bombers. Chicken as well. Looks like there was... that was where the chicken was being produced. Maybe he'll produce another one. You need to stop Billy. But that Resistance commander is not going to feel good with those torpedoes now inbound from those Salems. And Billy is inbound. It's going to impact the shielding, I think. Maybe it won't clip. Oh, no, it's going to land right here. Kills off a P-Gen. Just killing off something against Nori. 45 minutes on the clock here. And this base for Nori is slowly going to be eaten alive by Salem's. Salem's won the day, at least on the land side of things for Team 1. Love to see it. One of my favorite units to watch just walk along the map. You do see Fat Boy being annihilated by a chicken. There it goes. Bolter's coming in to secure it. Another Fat Boy was killed. Another Fat Boy was killed. There's another Fat Boy here. Another Fat Boy is being built. Lots of Fat Boys, but again, not really a lot of progress towards killing off the base. There goes Resistance. It is now a 2v1 game. Nori is all alone. And I think it's the beginning of the end. Oh, it's been the beginning of the end, but it's close to the end of the end here for Team 2. I'm going to scoop up it to +2. It actually raise it to +2. So there's a lot of Corsairs going after all these SACUs, eating away at the eco for Nori. We do see, of course, Chickens pushing back against the Fat Boys, but there's just so much land support now for Deli that's really hard for Team 2 to break through. And his base is being eaten alive by Corsairs now. Billy Nuke is inbound. SACUs are teleporting. Where did they go? And they're just... Actually, they teleported out of there. Because Nori's like, I'm good. See you, bye. And that is the game, folks, here. 47 minutes on the clock here. Team 1 wins the game. And hopefully everybody enjoyed the match here. Let me know down in the comments if you did. Thank you so very much for watching the 400th cast on the channel. I really, really, really... do appreciate the support, and of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe. Thank you so very much, and I will see all of you in the next 400 casts.